What happens when you find yourself on camera having to deliver a message? Is it a total horror show? Are you afraid of silence? Are you haunted by the ums in your speech? Well, ponder this so you can get more confused. I've noticed that in a couple of video sessions I've done recently, I get some good clients that they know their business and they tell me, I don't need a script. I don't need a teleprompter. I can just wing it. And they do, but their talk is all of a sudden peppered with all of these ums. And I know it's not something that they think about. So Michael Davis speaking CPR. And there's an example. How do we get rid of the ums when we're talking, especially because we have to communicate on video so much now?
Yes, we do. It's an excellent question, Ron. Let's talk about why it happens, first of all. You said the magic phrase, wing it. Wing it sounds good, and it can be conversational. However, the problem is when we do that and we don't have not necessarily a script but a flow, we start reaching for sentences, and we've become so accustomed to filling the empty space, especially in this very busy time of life we're in with all this technology. We seem to be afraid of silence. What we do, and you pointed out, it's unnatural, is we say, so, I mean, we stretch words out. This is why we're doing it. There are two ways that you can overcome this problem. And the first one comes from your world of video. Watch yourself on tape. Well, that's an old term. Watch your video. I've had so many people say to me, oh, I didn't realize how many times I was saying a certain word or I was doing the ums. I said, well, let's just watch the video. And you start to count. And you can just see their faces just horrified. Like, oh my God, I had no idea. To your point, it's unconscious. As soon as you become aware of it, that's a huge step. That alone is not going to solve it, though. Now, there are many different ways you can do it. My favorite is to practice silence. And I was telling you earlier, this means exaggerating like crazy when you're practicing by yourself. You might take a couple of sentences, and here are a couple of lines from a story I tell. It's an overcast day in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's unseasonably cool, but I'm sweating like a pig. I mean, down my face, my neck, and my back. And that's because I'm strapped into the cockpit of a real Indianapolis style race car. Now, that's how I tell the story. Here's how I would practice it if I was trying to get rid of all these filler words. It's an overcast, chilly, unseasonably chilly day in Indianapolis, Indiana. It takes a lot of practice. One of the first pieces of advice I ever got from a coach early in my speaking career was pause until it hurts and then wait another heartbeat. And it's a funny line. He's right. It really feels uncomfortable. And the reason is we have convinced ourselves that if we're not speaking, if there's silence, we're losing the attention of the audience. When actually it's just the opposite. If you've made a really good point, if you've asked a question, a thoughtful question especially, or you've said something funny, you've got to give them time to react.
And those pauses can be really dramatic. They can give you a lot of effect when you're speaking, whether you're standing up or you're doing a video.
Exactly. And people want that. think about presenters you've heard, and you and I hear a lot of people stand up and speak when they just go rushing right through the information to make a really good point. And then they'll ask a question, and then they might even say something funny, but they're going so fast, you feel like you're being bombarded, and you walk out of there thinking, well, that was interesting, but you're going to go on to the next thing. There's been no time to consider the implication of those points to your life. So you go on to the next thing. Those are the two biggest tips right there. I mean, I could give you 10, but then I'd be violating what I train people on, which is don't overload your audience with information. If you give them 10, they're not going to do any. It's too much. Give them 2, let them go take action on those and practice. And then when they get good at those, they'll come back to you for more. That's fine. It's called job security.
Michael Davis of Speaking CPR, and he's full of great ideas like this. I would suggest that you subscribe to his storytelling tips at speakingcpr.com. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. For now, that's a wrap.